How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Town to City. Earlier in 2025, we sat down to play the demo of this game. A little while ago, it launched into Steam Early Access, and today, we're finally sitting down to dive into what I think is probably the best new city builder to come out in years. It's adorable. The depth of the customization is like no other game. And today, we're going to be spending a healthy amount of time both founding our first city or town, and of course making it look really good as we go. Now this is of course a bit of a longer video, so get yourself a snack and a drink, get yourself comfortable, and let's get started. Also, once you're done, if you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below if you're excited about more Town to City on the channel, or, you know, just for a bit of YouTube engagement. So when I played the demo of Town to City, I focused mostly on building everything around this little lake. And there's a part of me that wants to avoid doing that again. And there's another part of me that wants to do that again, but do it better. And that part of me is kind of winning. So I'm thinking everything we do to begin with is going to build towards putting a bunch of stuff around this lake, because I think we could build a park in here. I think we could put some paths in here. I'm probably getting ahead of myself a little bit, but that's my idea for what we're gonna do. We have got a ton of space. We have water over here. We have water down here. We have these hills all around here. We have so much room for activities. But let's get started the way we always do I say we always do, like we've done this 100 times, the way you're supposed to in Town to City, and that is by building 3 houses and then connecting them to the station with a road. I'm gonna do these slightly backwards though. We're gonna be starting with the roads, and in here we can choose our road type, brush size, and whether to use freeform drawing or the line tool. We can connect buildings by drawing roads between them. So in this case, I think we're going to use the square brush. And I think what we do is go for something slightly smaller. We're at 5.55, maybe 4.5 is about the size we're looking for. And I want to just sort of stamp some roads up to, I want to say about there is probably far enough. I think that's fine. And then we go down, I think, to a 2.5, maybe a 3. Then we can just start bringing some roads out this way as well. Now, there are some quicker ways to do this. We don't have to just sort of stamp the roads like this, but I think for now, just to keep things nice and simple, just while we're getting started, we can sort of stamp some roads across like this. And that should be enough for what we're doing here. But I think just because it's me and just because I can, I'm going to go a little bit further this way, and I'm going to go just a little bit further this way as well. Now, I do think in the long term, we will probably have, like I said, some kind of park on this side of the road, so that's okay. What we could maybe do is go back up to a 4.5, try and line this up as best we can, and just have a little bit of extra road sticking out there. Or we could use the circle brush, maybe with a 6, and just try to get this all to be rounded out. Maybe with a 6.5 might be a little bit better. I think the 6.5 is actually pretty good. Now, I don't think I'm going to get this perfectly central, but I think right about there is okay. I think that looks good. I like that. I do. I think that's pretty good. So that's going to be our road. This is what we're going to build some houses on, and this is how we're going to connect them to the train station. If we go into the houses option, we have one right now. It's the townsfolk residence, which is a modest city house that provides living space for townsfolk residents. This style of house is found in Bellevue. Bellevue? Bellevue? I'm going to say Bellevue because that's easier to pronounce and it sounds right, even though it's not spelt that way. We're going to call it Bellevue. Now, the townsfolk residence is our only option, so we're going to build 3 of these guys. Unfortunately, I can't build them in there, which is really sad. I was really hoping I'd space this out enough, but evidently I haven't. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's turn off the snapping to path, and I'm going to place these guys as best I possibly can. Turning off snapping to path is not working. I'm pressing R to disable it. It's just not working. So you know what? We'll just place one there. We'll place one there, and we'll place one there for now. And that'll be our 3 houses. These are probably going to get demolished at some point because I just need to get people in here. That's That's kind of the goal for now, is to just get people in here. But that gives us our 3 houses, that gives us our 3 connections, so we can continue. We have a train arriving, and the train brings people, which is basically, I think, the only way people arrive to your towns in Town to City. They get off the train comes by periodically with people on board, and this is how it's done. There's our people right there. They're going to be wanting houses, and people can have different demands. They can want trees, they can want farming decorations, they can want all sorts of things. But this first family, they're pretty happy. They're gonna want whatever they're given, so we'll give them this house right here, and we can click on it and get some information. So the family's been given a home. We can open residence information by clicking on it, which we've done. A warm, beautiful house is the main way to increase residents' happiness, but it currently does not provide much. Let's change that by giving them access to food buildings. So that means we've unlocked down here commerce, which in this case is going to be market stalls. We have a poultry stall and a cheese stall. We have to place both of them, but I think what I'm going to do is try and place them in my little park area. So before we build those stalls, I want to go back into draw roads. I want to use the line tool, and I'm going to try my best to curve some of the roads that we're building here. Now, I think we'll use sand. I think we'll use a nice little small path right here. I think 2 is maybe good, maybe about 2. I think that's pretty solid. And I'm gonna just try my best, maybe with a square, maybe a 1.5 square just at the end here to start with, just to make life a little bit easier. Back to a circle, back to 2, not 2.5. And now we can sort of bring this kind of out this way. We might actually want to go back down to 1.5 here. I think that's going to make life that little bit easier. And I think I'm just going to try, do I want to use the line tool or the freeform tool? The line tool, the benefit of this is I can drag out a path, and then using C and V, I can change the curvature of it. So this way I can get the curves to look exactly how I want them to. And I think in this case, I want to do something like this right about here. So it sort of works towards the water. Off the back of that, we can curve around a little bit further, maybe a little bit sharper, just generally in this direction. And then we can curve a little bit more just around here. It does look like we're going to be going up onto the higher bit of the land there, the higher bit of terrain, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I think this is probably good enough for now. I think this works. We don't need to go too crazy with this. We have enough space to put some stalls in here. So let's do just a couple of stalls. We have the poultry stall, which I think is going to live, I want to say right about here is probably fine. So we'll put it in that spot. And then the cheese stall, I think, can go maybe up here is the spot for the cheese stall. I think just a little bit further around seems completely fine by me. And that should mean, after a little bit of work, we'll have food for everybody. We also happen to have 2 families that can be assigned to house number 2, and then the third family to house number 3, and that'll keep them nice and happy. We've built the 2 stalls, so let's see what comes next. We want to click on the market stall. So before a shop is operational, it needs to have workers. All adults living in your town can be employed. So let's add a worker. We have a button over here that we can use to do that. Each worker increases the amount of citizens that can be serviced. So make sure all shops can meet their demand by having enough workers. This shop can't yet sell because there's no warehouse connection. So let's build a warehouse next. We can absolutely do that. A warehouse receives resources from the station and then transports them to commerce buildings. An efficient warehouse is nearby commerce buildings and close enough to the station. So if we look down here, we have the small warehouse, which in this case, I think can fit in here. Also, snapping is working, which is fantastic. So let's rotate this guy around and then hopefully get it nice and close to everything. I want to say as far down here as we can get it, right to, I think about there is going to be perfect. It gives me a little bit of space beside it for decorations. We also have a family here with no house for them. That's not exactly ideal, but we'll figure that out is what we'll do. In fact, I'm going to go to the station and say, I don't want to accept anyone else because we don't have anywhere for them. Now, we have a warehouse. We've built the warehouse. We have to add workers to the warehouse so that they can bring things from the station to the warehouse and then from the warehouse to the goods stalls, which has a bird on it. Look at you. Hello. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, I didn't know there were birds that would land in the stalls, but that's pretty cool. So next up, the poultry stall has to be functional. So let's go ahead and add someone to this, which means that all of our houses are now receiving poultry and cheese. Is that another bird landing? It is. I love it. Okay, that's very cool. I'm going to want to move these houses, I think, sooner than later. I don't, I don't love them being right there. So I think what I'm going to do, just before we get a little bit further into this, I'm going to try and move them up this way. Now, we're going to use the brick road. We're going to use the square brush. We're going to go back to our, was it 2.5? No, it was 3, I think. It absolutely was. And I'm going to build a road just across here. Now, it's going to be at an angle, which means it's not going to work perfectly with the square brush, which is okay. We can see our stats here, so we want to bring that curvature down to 0, which is completely fine. We can also hold control for, I assume, angle snapping, shift for the eraser. But what I'm going to do is go from about here, maybe here, and just drag this out. I actually think that's too big. I do. I think that's a little bit too big. Let's go down to 2.5 for the angled road here. We'll sort of keep it on this one level. I still think that's kind of a big, that's still a very wide road. It's maybe a little bit too much, but I think it'll do. We can, I want to say, build it to, I think there is probably good enough. It's a little weird looking, but I'm okay with that. I'm a little weird looking too, and I get by, so it's not the end of the world. Apparently, wait, you can rotate the brush. I didn't know this. This is news to me. Okay, that's kind of cool. I didn't know you could rotate the brush. Interesting. Let's try and get a bit of a curve going here that looks like it's going to be acceptable. I don't love that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to make this a little bit smaller again. It is going to go down to 2.5, and maybe now I think that's a little bit better. It's really not perfect, is it? I don't think it's going to be, unfortunately. But I think we can do this and then maybe use the freeform tool with a circle brush to just sort of smooth this out a little bit. And I think that looks a little better. I think this is maybe a little sharp here, so we could sort of soften that curve, soften it a little bit further, soften it a little bit down here. And I think that'll do. I think that's going to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. The games is not really about everything being perfect, so we're not going to try and make everything perfect. Now, I will have these buildings snap to the path up here, because I really don't feel like trying to get the exact angle, although we could try. We could rotate this guy around and see if we can get something that kind of matches. That sort of matches. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. I could rotate it freely with the mouse button. That's an option as well, actually, which honestly, that's not so bad. It really isn't. If I pause the game and I place you here, we can kind of, I wish I could sort of see the actual footprint that the buildings will take up. We'll speed things up and let the buildings get put together nice and quickly so that I can space them out relatively evenly. They don't have to be perfect, but I want them to be spaced out relatively evenly. So we'll put another one there. We're going to need maybe, let's say 5 of these, because we do have a family down there. We're going to need to bring in more families. So that's going to be 3. And right there, that gives us 5, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, they are complaining. They aren't connected to any shops. So what we can do is go back into our roads, back down to sand, back down to the 1.5 brush. And I think we just do a little connection right here. And I'm going to try my best to freeform this connection down to this way. So it sort of forks off of here, which does give them a connection to the stalls, which is exactly what we're looking for. That's kind of perfect. What I'd like to do now is move this family into another house. I want to move this family into another house. I want to move this family into another house. And then you guys can have that house right there while I go ahead and bulldoze these. I don't know why I paused in the middle of bulldoze, but yeah, we're going to bulldoze these 3 houses, which gives me space to bring this road around the lake just that little bit further. I also love that they are using the path in here. This was kind of my thinking with this whole thing was I want them to use the path around the lake. We can put decorations in here to, get them to use the space around the lake, but this way we can do it in such a way that they will also, use the path to commute to places, which is completely fine, and I like that. So Let's bring this path out here a little bit. Let's curve it just this way a little bit. I want to go for a decently sized curve so that we have a nice little area in here for decorations later on. We can bring this up to here, maybe reduce the curve a little bit. It's going to go up onto this other level, which I think is fine. So right to about, let's even go up to here. I think that can be kind of fun. Just go a little bit higher with it. I do want to see what I'm doing though, because it's a little tricky. I think we can go a little tighter on that curve, maybe even up to there. Like I said, I kind of like that. I do. I think that's pretty good. And we just need to sort of bring it down and into here. So if we do something like this, that's coming around exactly how I want it to. We'll connect these guys at the end, and hopefully, I think that is kind of perfect. I do. I think that's kind of perfect. It gives us so much room in here for activities, which is what we're looking for. And we can even go to paint the ground. We could get some sand. We can keep dithering on, and I can do something like this, which means everything on the inside of here can have sand. I'll probably not have all of this be sand, but I'll do some sand to start with, and then we'll put some grass back in just to sort of feather things out a little bit. So we have green grass. We'll just sort of do this to just fade it out a little bit. The dithering at the edges makes it look a little bit more natural, which I think is fantastic. We can have it be a little, a little bit less grass over on this side just because we can. A little bit less, maybe less grass here as well would be an idea, since I'd imagine people will be walking there a little bit more. But just a little something like this, I think works. I think that's okay. We will be putting a bunch of details in here. Don't worry. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started. There's so much more that I want to do here. But let's continue because I'm going to be here forever if we don't. So we want to click in a house is what we want to do. Access to multiple different shops greatly increases the happiness for its residents. The house earns more daily income with each shop connection. Each house, shop, and warehouse has a decoration score. This score makes the people who live or work in the building happier. So let's make a house and a shop or a warehouse provide more happiness by decorating the areas around them. This is where things get interesting. This is where things get exciting. This is where things really start to open up for me. Because what I want to do right away is I want to go in here and get this wooden fence. Now we do have some options. We have a small stone wall that we could use, which we could drag out here. We have a tall stone wall that we could use and drag out here. We have a tall wooden fence that we could drag out here. And I think, all things considered, the little wooden fence that we have here is the best bet. So it's going to get dragged out. We're going to bring it to about there. Bring it to this corner. And we do have curve options for fences, but it's a fence. It's made up of wooden boards. It's only going to curve so much. So I'm not really going to be using the curve options for the fence. I'm just going to do it myself and do it manually because it makes life a little bit easier. We can bring this over to here. We can bring it to about here. And if I right click, we have a little fence. We have a little fence going around our little park. I love that. I really do. Now, this has given us some decoration points for shops and warehouses, which is fantastic. We've got some houses looking pretty good for decorations as well. Oh, I love this. I love that they're coming through the park. That makes me so happy. It really, really does. It makes me so, so happy. I'll tell you what we'll do though. Let's get some street lights in here. We can do maybe just one by this entrance is okay. I think that gave decoration points to all of those houses. We could do maybe like a little park area back here could be fun. I'm not really too sure if it makes sense, but a little park area back here could be good. We could do a well back here. I actually really like the idea of the well. Just sort of there. Seems like a really good spot for it. We can detail around that as well with some ground paints. Maybe some slightly different grass around it could be an idea. Maybe something kind of like this, or maybe the darker one, or the gray. Yeah, the gray grass. So it's a well in the middle of the grass. People are walking out to it. Oh, they are walking out to it. And it's going to have some grass around it. That's a little bit, it's a little rough looking. The grass is not the healthiest looking grass that we've ever seen, but that's okay. I think that's fine. I think that makes sense, I think realistically it wouldn't be the healthiest grass because it's It's got people working on it all the time. Oh, I love that. I really do. I'm like 15 minutes into this and I'm already having so much fun. I'm going to be here forever. I'm going to be here forever. Let's do a nice big tree. I think in this corner is a good spot for it. I'm not going to go too crazy with decorations right now though, because we are going to unlock so many more decorations as we go through. We're going to do sort of the bare minimum for these guys because I also don't want to block their view. You know, they're up on their balconies. They're looking out over the lake. Some of them, like, you know, this guy opens his door. What does he see when he comes through the door? It's like, oh, I'm so relaxed. I'm going out to my balcony and I can't see anything because there's a tree in the way. I wouldn't be happy. I mean, I would. That view is amazing, but, you know, just look slightly left, look slightly right. Amazing views. Dead ahead, tree. Look too far left, you're kind of creeping on your neighbors. Don't do that. Let's continue a little bit. So we can hover over the happiness percentage to view the happiness breakdown. So that's going to be right here. We can see that we have 73% happiness, which is great. Needs are being dealt with. Food is being dealt with. Home decoration is okay. Work decoration is okay. Child bonuses and population density, everything kind of factors in. People only arrive at the station if the total average happiness is 60% or above. Percentages in yellow and red should be improved to increase the average happiness efficiently. You can also click individual residents to dive deeper into their individual happiness. Let's keep the happiness above 60% and grow our town's population. So we need better work decoration and better home decoration. That sort of checks out. We also need to assign 5 families to houses. So let's allow the train to come in here so we can put someone in whatever house we haven't put someone in, because I don't remember which one it was. It's fine. I'm sure we're about to find out. It was this one. It has smoke coming out of the chimney though, so let's not think about that too much. Let's not concern ourselves with that too much. We'll turn off the station again just to be safe, and let's see what's next. A higher population density decreases the residents' overall happiness. Make parks and open spaces and research, build, and connect more buildings to maintain a high happiness. Let's build a research center. So the research center is going to generate research points over time per assigned worker. It is a huge, wonderful looking building. I really like this thing. I want to say that we rotate it around quite a bit, and I think we put it just opposite the entrance. I think we put it over here. It's a ways out of the way, but I think that's a good spot for it. And I think I can also, you know, bring this road sort of up and across to the research center, which I think makes sense. I'm also relatively sure that because of the way I've built this thing, yeah, it's kind of lining up with my roads, which is good. I'm quite happy about that. We'll go ahead and reset our curve value right here. So we want to bring that down to 0. We want to rotate this guy so it is nice and parallel with the research center. And then we can go to here, drag this out to about there, and that gives it a road connection. And then somehow, some way, I need to connect all this together. So let's go for a circle brush because I think that's going to be better. Let's go for size 3, and let's go from here to there with a nice curve that actually makes it look like I meant to do this. I don't know that that's going to happen though. I have my doubts about this. Bring this to here to start with, and now can we get a curve that looks good? We sort of can. Again, it's not perfect. I don't know that it's going to be though. I have my doubts that it's ever going to be perfect, and maybe that's okay. I think it's going to have to be okay. I don't love that. I don't love that, but it is a cool building, so I guess that's okay. We do need to add a worker to the research center though. And if we have a look here, upkeep is 0, decoration points are 5, that's fine. We get 60 research per day per worker. You are now generating research points. You can add more workers to generate points more quickly, which is totally fine. You can see your current research points and money down here in the bottom right. Okay. And we can research a new item. All right, so we get the fish stall. What I'm wanting is the ability to decorate buildings. I also want the flower and plant decorations. I want the trees and bushes, but we have to get the fish stall to begin with. That's totally fine. This new building now appears in the construction menu. You have 17 out of 50 residents required to upgrade your city. This will unlock new features and buildings in the research menu. Maintain a high happiness and give 50 people a home. Your goal is to grow your new town to a bustling city. So I think what we'll do is bring some roads out this way so that we can start connecting things around towards the research center. I don't want to go too far out here because I kind of want all my houses to be facing the park in the middle. I think that's kind of important. So we'll do a little road like this so that we have a nice straight road to work with here. I think that's also going to be kind of important so that we can put some buildings on it really nicely. We can sort of continue this road as well, which is good news. We can bring it up to, you know what? Actually, I think we should curve it. I think continuing it in just a boring straight line there is, well, boring. So we'll bring it up to here. And then these guys just need to be connected together. So bring this out to here, bring that to about there. And I think that looks fine. Maybe a slightly bigger curve on it. I'm not really too sure. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. That is a lot more space than I was hoping for. And I should mention, I'm relatively sure that we're going to need like 2 markets in this space. These stalls don't have a huge radius. I'm pretty sure houses over here won't be covered by them. So that's something that we're going to have to keep in mind. It's something I'm going to have to keep in mind anyway. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is look at just connecting all of this together. I'm going to do a little bit of path right there. We'll go back to the circle and we'll just bring this down. We'll sort of freeform it this way so it blends really nicely with the rest of the path. And then we're going to freeform it kind of this way so it blends really nicely with that bit of path. And I can put a tree in there, which I think is going to be fantastic. We should probably do something similar up here though. So let's get this connection here. And again, I think we go to the circle and I think we just try to freeform this. I think we bring it down a little bit more than the other one. We'll kind of get it a little bit wavy in here, which is fine. This side, I think we go a little bit like this, just kind of continuing straight through, curve it up a little bit. It's not perfect, but I think we can kind of hide our crimes a little bit if we just soften those corners. And I think putting some trees in there should make it okay. I think just sort of smoothing this part out should make it okay. And I think that'll be all right. So that gives us a connection to the research center. It gives us a connection to whatever I build over here. We have this connection down here. So what that means is I can put the rest of the fences in. Now, we can build fences by placing posts. We already know this. We've already done this. It's fine. We can do it live is what we can do. So we'll bring this over and just gradually we'll do little sections of fence that follow this curve right to this straight section of the path. We go to the path right there, right click, and we have a new section of fence. I just need to do that for the rest of it now. And there we go. We have the fences around here. I think that looks fantastic. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited to start working on all of this. I really, really am. Let's get some extra houses though. Let's do, oh man, I'm gonna have to try and get these to line up. This is gonna be a bit of a pain. Is that, no, that's not quite right. I think that is about as close as I'm gonna get to these guys being parallel. I don't think it's gonna be perfect, but maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe it doesn't have to be. we can hope. We can hope is what we can do. This guy is gonna go right about here, and that should be fine. That gives us room for 2 more families. So let's open up the station. We'll bring in 2 more families and see what happens. We can also research some stuff. We have 103 research points. So let's decorate buildings because many decorations have special variations that only apply in specific places. Hover over different locations to find all the variations. We need another 12 research points for flower and plant decorations. But what we can do now that I have unlocked that, is I can go in with something like small potted flowers. We'll go for the red ones here, and I can put them in the windows. So we can do stuff like this to start decorating our houses. We can go to the lights and put them over the doors, which I'm gonna do for I think every other house can have a light over its door. I don't think every single one needs a light over its door. I think we'll go to the plants again. In fact, you know what? Let's save up 1 more research point. We'll get the flower and plant decorations. And then if we go back into decorations, we have some more options, which I think is going to be fantastic. So we'll go down to our potted flowers. We can go for, I like these yellow ones for this house. I think that's pretty good. We'll go for these purple ones for their neighbor. We'll go for these sort of nice warm tones, the sort of pastel colors for this house. Coming down, I think you could go for, I'm gonna say, I don't want to do two red ones next to each other. We'll come back to you. You are definitely gonna have the white ones. I think since we've done red flowers in a white house, white flowers in a red house, and you, I think we go yellow. I think that looks pretty good. I like that a lot. Also, the lights above the doors working as intended. It's brightened up the street just a little bit, which I love. I think this guy is going to get the purple flowers just because we can. I think maybe we'll go for the original purple flowers, though, just to sort of change things up a little bit. That's overkill. I don't like that they're all completely identical, but we can go in and get some small wooden benches. So let's do a little bench maybe right here for this house. We'll do a slightly larger wooden bench for these guys down at the end of their balcony there. It doesn't have to be perfectly aligned. I think if anything, it not being perfectly aligned is kind of better. We could do maybe a little lamp just by the door so it brightens up their balcony. I think that's quite cool. We could do, what have they got? Yellow flowers here. Let's give them a sunflower. I like the idea of them having a little potted sunflower up here. Is that an option? That's a big sunflower. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Can I just give them a little yellow flower in a pot? I totally can. That looks beautiful. I love that. I love that so much. Let's give you guys a little white flower there. Maybe another one there. Can I give you a small tree? I can, and we have options. Let's give these guys, a tree right there. Just because we can. They're already blocking their view with this tree, so why not? We'll give them another one. That should be fine. We have other options too. We have these big potted trees right here. Can I put these in front of windows or doors? I forgot that they can be hanging as well. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Let's give you guys some hanging plants. Again, just because we can. I think that looks pretty good. I like that a lot. And then these guys don't have any benches. Let's give you maybe a little bench just in that corner. Maybe another one as well so you can kind of sit and talk to each other. That seems like a good idea. We'll give you guys a bench maybe here. And then maybe another tree or whatever that is. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's enough decoration for the houses. That should keep them pretty happy. If we look at happiness, actually, home decoration is plus 16%. Work decoration, on the other hand, kind of sucks. So, oh, I forgot about this. Hold on. Turn this off. We have 2 new families. You guys can go live up there. You guys can go live up there. And that means that you are going to need more workers because we can see here, as we add families to something like a cheese stall, we get a production. Now, production here at the moment with the one family, or the one worker, I should say, Maurice, good for Maurice, is 20. Demand right now with the extra families is 24. So we want to go and add another worker to meet that demand. Demand in here is, oh, that's interesting. This guy isn't covered by the poultry stall. That's why we didn't need to put any more workers in the poultry stall. That's something I'm going to have to keep in mind. Now, I will say, as I mentioned, the work decoration kind of sucks right now. So I'm wondering if I could maybe decorate around this warehouse a little bit. I'm kind of wondering if I could bring this guy to here, bring this back to, say, here, and then right click. It gives us a nice big wall that I think looks pretty cool. We can leave a bit of a gap, start, say, here, bring this back just a little bit, and then bring it sort of down here. Now, this is not going to line up perfectly, unfortunately. I'm not I'm not going to get perfectly right angles. I probably could have held like shift or something there to make it happen, but that's okay. It's fine. That, I think, looks pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to put back there for decorations, but I think maybe the workers want to go and break. Maybe they want a bench back here. I don't even know if this is a workplace that needs more decoration. Is this helping? Work decoration is still 1%. I don't know. I don't know if this is helping or not. Can I give them an arch? Please tell me it fits. It's so close to fitting in there. That would look amazing. Oh, that would look so good in there. That's really unfortunate. I could put it in front though. That's kind of cool. I think that's maybe what we do. Also, someone going back there and actually sitting on the bench makes me so happy. I'm giving you a tree. is what I'm doing. I'm giving you this tree. Yeah, I think we're giving you this tree is what we're going to do. Just a nice big tree in the yard of the warehouse. Work decoration, still 1%. That's fine. That's okay. Let's do a little bit of terrain painting, and then let's actually go and, you know, do more stuff, because I'm just painting stuff right now. I'm not actually really doing anything. It's not ideal. This type of game is dangerous for me. I will spend, if you've been around this channel for any length of time, I think you probably know just how much time I will spend painting pointless little things in any game. If you have, here's a question. How many of you, now this is going back a ways, so I'm not going to be upset or surprised if the answer is none of you, but how many of you have been around since the original sort of City Skylines early days? Now I'm talking, I am talking like original, you know, first series, second series, and City Skylines, stuff like that. The reason I bring that up is because there was a live stream. And again, this is going back many, many years. So again, I'm not going to be concerned or surprised if the answer is no one knows what I'm talking about. But there was a live stream many, many years ago where I think I spent 4 hours placing by hand bushes in City Skylines, because this was back before really any of the major mods existed. So any of like Move It and being able to copy and paste or anything. No, I think Move It existed, but being able to like line tools, the line tool mods didn't exist. So if you wanted to, you know, build farms, this was before any like the farming expansions. If you wanted to build farms, you had to do it by hand. That was just how it worked. So you had to place potentially thousands and thousands of bushes. And I did. That was a fun time for me. It was a really good time. It took forever, but I vividly remember it to this day because I vividly remember the chat. I was the people that were in the chat at the time had doubts as to whether or not I was actually going to do it, and I did. And it was really good. Also, I love this. I love the little yard that we've built behind the warehouse. I think that looks amazing. Anyway, we need to grow the population. We need to look at research. We're going to get the fruit stall, and I think we should start looking into maybe getting some more stalls in here. I think that would be a great idea. So let's have a look at commerce. We have the fish stall. We have the fruit stall. I'm kind of wondering if I could put a stall in here and then maybe just move that little bit of path that we have going to the well. That might not be a bad idea. I could get a stall down here as well, but I think I'm going to put some trees across there. We could do it here as well. Over this way would certainly be an option for a stall. I think that might be good too. I think that's going to be nice and close. It should cover all the houses, which is great. So yeah, let's do the little fish stall right here. Let's do the fruit stall maybe next to it, a little bit further down though. So maybe just sort of here for the fruit stall is what we'll do. That way I can put some trees in between the two stalls, which will be great. Are you covering everything? You are. Not by much, but you are, which is great. So let's get someone working in here. Demand is 24. In this way, we can get 1, we can get 2. There's only 1, so oh, that's gonna be rough. I think we also need more people in here, which is gonna be something. We are covering it all though, which is good. That's fantastic news. Covering everything here is really, really good. We have, I think this means 3 available workers. So we can maybe put more people into research. That way we can get a little bit more research per day, which is good. We can also get a vegetable stall and greater reach. Oh, that's going to be amazing. That is going to be perfect. That is exactly what we need. The vegetable stall, $45. A little bit of a bigger stall as well. Okay. That's interesting. I guess we go for this space as well. I guess up here for the vegetable stall seems fair enough. We can go for, I want to say right about here. I think should be fine. And then I think with the greater reach, I mean, you're maybe getting down to this house, but if we do this, I think everybody's covered. Although the warehouse might need another worker, which we don't have. We need more families. Okay, we can get more families. We're going to have to put them over here, which is annoyingly potentially going to mean that I need to... Oh, this is the tricky part now. This is the tricky part now. I'm going to need to build more stalls if I put more families over here. That ever so slightly complicates things. Because here's the thing. We only have so much space in a single warehouse. It is a small warehouse though. And I'm pretty sure I remember that you can unlock big warehouses. So maybe we'll be okay. I don't know. Either way, whatever happens, we do need to get another worker in the warehouse. We do need more people. So let's... Oh, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I think I'm going to be cheeky. I think I'm going to get another house. We're going to rotate it around. And I think we're just going to put it down here is what we're going to do. Is that parallel? I think that right there is a little more parallel. It is also a bit lower than the other house. But I think we can go to here. And I think that's about the same gap. We can put it there. We can kind of bring a road out around it. We can bring this road over to meet it. We'll have a little gap here with maybe a tree in it or something like that. But for now, let's open up the station. Let's allow people through. And while we're waiting for the train to get here, I need to figure out what I'm doing over this way. So the roads are, is it 3 that I'm looking for? I think it's 3. It is. That's fine. Let's do a line tool. Let's make sure the curvature is reset. And I want to do, I think, something relatively close to that house on the right. I think something like this to start with should be fine. And then I think if we go to here, we kind of bring it to here. We can have the curvature sort of come around a little bit like this. I think should be okay. We have not. We have 3 families. That's not, I forgot that it's not always just one. I forgot it's not always just one family. Oh no, that's really bad news. We'll deal with that in a second. Let me freeform this bit of road so it's a little bit more in line. I think that looks okay. Maybe we just sort of freeform this part as well. So it's kind of a, yeah, I think that's all right. I think that works. Again, it's not perfect. It's a little odd looking, but that's probably fine. Let's get you into this place. Let's get another worker into there. And that means that everything here is up and running, which is great. You are not happy. So let's get someone working in there as well, which means everything is covered. And I guess we could, if I wanted to, build another set of houses out this way. But what I'd like to do, as much as I want the trees and bushes decorations, I think we need the greater reach. I think we need to be able to expand the radius or the range of all of these stalls before we expand too much. Because I get the feeling we're going to need to build more stalls over here. Although, if I did go in and do the reckless thing, which is get the trees and bushes decorations, I can make this look pretty while I'm waiting, which is obviously the important thing to do. So, this feels silly. I like these. I do. I'm kind of wishing that the game had like a line tool now that we've just been talking about city skylines. I think it'd be amazing. But that's all right. I think what we'll do is maybe put some small trees around this well. I think putting some large trees in here would be a really bad idea. I'm also really deeply tempted to put what I'm relatively sure is a cypress tree just through here. So maybe that's a thing we can do. Maybe put like 3 of them there. Maybe put 1, and maybe it doesn't have to be symmetrical. Maybe we don't do symmetry. That's like one of the biggest complaints people have with everything that I ever build is everything's symmetrical. So there you go. There's 3 on this side. There's 4 on that side. I hope you're happy. I'm not. It drives me up the wall. But there you go. You've got your lack of symmetry. Let's do some large trees. I think some large trees in here will be pretty cool. I want a decently large tree. Actually, you know what? I don't want to put a large tree in there because it's going to block the view of the research center. I'll put a large tree over here though. I think right about there is pretty good for a large tree. I think that looks great. And then for this space, I want to say we do some bushes. I like this one. So let's do 1, 2, 3. We'll do 1, 2, and 3. I probably should rotate them, but, well, we'll be okay. I could, if I wanted to, sort of connect them a little bit as well. I don't know that we need to do this. Does that look okay? Is that too much? I think that looks okay. It's not perfect. I think if we look at it a little bit too closely, it's very distinctly mess. I don't like that. No. Do not like anything about that. Also, not sure I like those or those. Maybe the better option would be a little wooden fence. Just a little wooden fence that sort of, you know, encloses that little triangle would be the way to go. I am noticing I can't snap to there, which I don't love. So let's build this to begin with. And then I'm going to have to deal with the fact that this is not going to... Oh, it doesn't snap perfectly, does it? That's... Okay. I hadn't thought about this. Let's demolish you, and that'll be fine. We can... How am I going to do this? I guess we start there again. We bring this down. We bring this over. It's not going to line up perfectly. That's okay. And I think we just do... Oh, wait, can you not do that? Oh, no. Oh, that does make things tricky. Okay. I guess we stick with bushes. I guess it doesn't matter, right? It really, it really doesn't matter. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, and then a small tree in the middle, like the smallest little tree right there. So it's not quite blocking the view of the research center. I think that looks lovely. As for the rest of the space, I like the idea of a large tree right here. I think that looks pretty cool. I think the rest of it should be randomized with some small trees here and there. So a little small tree here, a little small tree maybe here, a little medium tree in this space, just for something a bit different because there's no one living right there. I think that looks all right. I think back to small trees for the spaces between these guys, just because I don't imagine some giant trees in those spaces would be all that beloved, is how I will describe that. I think that looks all right. I'm not 100% sure what to put back here other than maybe a series of randomized bushes, although maybe we just sort of dot them around a little bit. And then I think maybe we do put some trees in there as well. That might not be a bad idea. So back to the small trees. We'll do this guy. We can do this guy. We'll do one in here, and then a medium tree again. I think a little medium tree just here. It is going to slightly obstruct the view of the research center. Is it obstructing it too much? It is. No, I don't like that. Do not like that. That's going to need to be a small tree. In fact, you know, I think it's going to be bushes. I think we're going to stick with the bushes just to, these aren't randomized. I didn't randomize the bushes. Okay. Well, they all need to go away. I don't appreciate them not being randomized. So randomize. And we want you. We want you. We want you. They are definitely randomized this time, I think. They're almost indistinguishable from each other. I can't talk today, and it's really frustrating. I'm having one of those days, but I think that's fine. It's a nice bit of decoration. It kind of works. We'll do some bushes here and here and here, in there, right down here, and right in these spaces too. So that should give us a really huge amount of decoration for all those workplaces. Yeah, work decoration's up to 6%. Houses are great. Food is great. We're 98% happiness. You know, the only thing we're missing for this space? Benches. We got to get some benches that are sitting in the shade of the trees between some of the stalls, just looking at the water. That'll make people nice and happy. They can sit and relax, which is, I mean, I would want to sit and relax here. The area looks beautiful. We'll do a slightly smaller bench just here. You can again sit and look out at the water, which is going to be great. I don't think I'm going to do any lights in here right now. I don't think we need to. I love this. I'm having so much fun with this. It's so cozy. I probably shouldn't just have a straight row of houses. I'll be honest, that's a little boring. It is a little boring, but just to get started, I think that's okay. I think maybe we could knock some of them down, put a little road through here, start kind of building out little tiny blocks. I'm so happy with this. I will say, let's get the greater reach. Let's make sure that all of our stalls can reach everybody, which now, oh my God, they can reach over here. That's kind of huge. That's kind of a big deal. Okay, let's get some houses. Let's get people moving in here. I'm just going to snap them to the roads because I'm feeling a little bit lazy. We'll go 1. I'm going to let it build. And once it builds, I can do the spacing almost perfectly. We'll go 2. I'm going to let that build as well. And just like that, we have these families moving into their new houses. Now, the houses themselves, obviously, are going to need some decorations. We'll do some lights on every other door. This blue house, we're going to say that they love sunflowers, is what they love. These guys, we could have them be a little bit more rustic, I think. They've got a flower patch that's just going to be sort of hanging out the window. And I think that's all right. Just some flower, little daisies hanging from the windows, I think looks lovely. These houses, let's go for purple on you. You're kind of making a statement. And then you guys just really like red. So that's okay. They just also really like flowers, every single one of them. These guys like sunflowers. These guys are just a little bit more rough and ready, I suppose. I will admit, I love this, and I'm very tempted to... How much do we think they love flowers? Because I could... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Then we're going to get the white flowers, and we're going to just see what I can do here. This, this might be a little extra, and it might be a little unnecessary, but I think this could look really nice. I have a theory that this could be really, I say really nice, it looks horrible. It does not look good. It's a little bit much, and it doesn't work perfectly spacing wise. Does that look okay? Oh my God. It looks like it's a banner for a parade. I think we can remove some of those. I think they can go away. It's maybe a little bit too much. You can have a bench for sure. You guys can also have a bench, and I think you guys can have a bench, but it's going to be sort of sitting facing that way. We can maybe give you a little light up here because I think that will be quite cool. We'll give you guys like a plant in the corner. I can't do trees up here. I can do this though, which is kind of huge looking. I don't know if I love that. Maybe a hanging plant though. Maybe that would be nice, just right there. Again, just to sort of boost the decorations of the area. That should be pretty good. All right, so that means, if I'm not mistaken, these guys are all covered. These guys are all covered. They're going to be, oh, we've got people using the path to get over to these houses as well. I love that. I really do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me get the cypress tree here, and let me just gradually bring it around this corner. So right to about here. We're going to go right to about, I think, there. And I think we can maybe get 2 more of them. So 1 and 2. I think that looks great. And then this space in here, I want to use the wooden slide. I think we can build like a little park in here would be really nice. I want to do the slide maybe this way around. I think that's okay. I think right about there for the slide. I'm also kind of thinking we do like an extra wooden fence around this. So it's kind of enclosed a little bit more. I don't know if it makes too much sense to do this extra wooden fence, but I like the idea that this little area would be kind of its own thing. I think that's kind of neat. So we'll do a little something like this. I might have to redo this though, because I kind of want it to, well, I don't mind that, but my thinking was it would maybe come from here down to the path, and then here would kind of come over this way. Do I like that? No, I think the fence is too much. I think the fence might be a little bit too much. We'll get rid of that. That'll be fine. I do want to get some benches in here. I think we want to do a bench. Oh, how do I want to do the bench here? I think we want some trees as well. I think a bench like this is pretty good. I think a bench over here would be pretty good as well, just sort of between those trees. So the parents can sit and watch the kid come down the slide, and then the kid's going to be like, "Did you see that?" And the parent's going to be like, "Yeah, totally saw it. Wasn't looking at my iPad." You know, that's it's just reality. Let's be honest. It's a little depressing, but we'll do a light. There we go. Light in the darkness. Um, man, this got real. Um, sure. Let's let's do a little tall fence here, I guess. I think I will try to enclose this just a little bit, just to sort of see what this tall fence kind of looks like. What does that look like? It looks like a prison yard. That looks like a prison yard to me. Maybe we just don't. Maybe I just stop trying with the fences and maybe we just stick with decorations. Maybe a nice medium tree to kind of sit over that that bench would be a bit of an idea. And then maybe just to sort of feel like we have a slightly more dense kind of wall behind the slide, we can do these bushes. So it feels a little bit more distinct from the cypress trees the entire rest of the way down there. So a little something like that I think looks good. I'm okay with that. I don't mind it. I think the last thing to do is a little bit of terrain painting. So let's just go for a size 1.5 brush. Let's go for some bright grass in here, because I think that that'll look quite nice. It probably should be darker grass, but just I think it's a little park. A little bit of bright grass didn't hurt anybody. Maybe it should be darker grass. I'm not too sure. I do think sand underneath the sand pit would make sense, because there's no way that sand is staying in there. That's going to be everywhere. It is going to be everywhere. I was a child once. I can confirm that I would absolutely have gotten that sand everywhere. So that's just realistic, quite frankly. That's a level of detail that you weren't expecting, but that's true. It would be everywhere. It just would. And there we go. I love this. I think that's the perfect little space right there in front of the houses. I mean, yeah, their view is a little bit blocked by the trees, but you know what? They'll be fine. They'll be okay. We've also managed to max out our research points. We can see down in the bottom as well, 400 of 400 at the moment. I don't think we get anything else until we get to 50 people. We're almost at maximum money as well, which is certainly something. So I suppose we should do something about that. I suppose we should look into maybe getting more houses in here. So I guess that's what we need to do. I guess we need to come down here. We need to extend this road out a little bit, although the curvature is huge right now. So we'll bring that down to 0. We can go from here. We'll drag this guy out. And I'm going to say we go to, well, how do I want to do this? Do I want the houses to be back to back instead of sort of, I don't know that I want to put houses down here, because I'm feeling like houses down here facing that way is a little boring. So maybe instead we do a little road down here. I mean, this is going to put them kind of close to the train tracks, but we could maybe do even a slightly wider road. In fact, if I was to go for a 5, maybe even a 5.5, I want to try something here. This might work, this might not, but just a little stretch of road right there and a little something coming out right here. We curve those together, hopefully in a way that doesn't look terrible, which, I mean, I don't love that, but I can work with that. I can work with this for sure. These corners are absolutely going to need to be tidied up, so we're going to want to freeform these a little bit, bring down the brush size, and just very, very gently kind of smooth out, maybe a slightly larger brush just to get it done a little bit quicker. We can just very carefully smooth this corner. I think that looks a little bit better. This one as well, just very slightly, can get a little something just to tidy up that curve and make it a little bit more gradual. I'm doing anything but making the curve look better, to be honest with you. It's a little tricky, but we're getting there. I think that's okay. I think that'll do. The reason I wanted to do this though is because if I hold shift, I can erase the middle of the road. So if I get a 1.5, maybe even a 1, I can kind of take out the middle. Even a 0.5, I can take out the middle of this road, which is going to be an absolute nightmare to do properly. But if I do it like this, that gives me space to kind of detail down the middle of the road. And I think that could be kind of cool. So if we kind of just gradually follow that curve, I could have probably used the curve tool to do this, but that's fine, I think. I think that's okay. My thinking here is we do this and then we do like bushes kind of down the middle of this as like a really nice little decorative space. So we kind of just, you know, space these guys out a little bit like that. I think we could go for the smaller bushes and randomize those as well. So we have a little bit of variety in the sizes. And then I put houses on either side of it. Maybe even, what have we got here? If I take out that middle one, we could just do a lamppost in the middle just to brighten things up a little bit. I kind of like that. It's a bit weird. It's definitely a bit weird, but I kind of like it. What I think we'll do is I'm going to paint the ground just directly underneath the lamppost. So I need a size 1 brush just there. And then the rest of this, I want to go for some nice bright grass so that it's nice and green underneath there. Maybe a little bit, it's a little bit more yellow than I would like, but that's okay. We can work with that. And then my thinking would be houses. I think we do a house here, and I think we do one sort of directly opposite. I think we could probably get another one in there, but we can curve this side the entire way around. Now they don't really line up all that well. I think I might have to kind of freeform these a little bit. I also kind of want them relatively close together. So one right there is going to be pretty good. I think we can do a bunch of trees and some walls along the train tracks just to sort of mask that sound a little bit. It doesn't really matter in this game. They don't care about noise pollution, but it's me. I'm going to do that level of detailing at some point. But I think another house there is going to be pretty good. And then this guy, we could set him back a little bit from the road. It doesn't have to be right up against it. I also think a little white house here is going to be the call. I think right there is kind of perfect. I think that's a great spot. So right there is what we're going to do. We might have to build some road leading right up to it, but I love that. I really, really love that. We can go one step further as well, by the way, and we can do a little bit of stone just going up to the doors. So they're actually sort of connected to the road. That way it looks, you know, a little bit better, a little bit more professional, a little bit more like I know what I'm doing. Let's do this going up to your door. We'll just make it nice and even on both sides. We can do some fences. Oh, I love this. I love this. I really do. Let me very quickly do this decoration. We're gonna be as quick as we can with this because I really don't remember how to make short videos is apparently the thing. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I don't know. I don't know if in this day and age, making an hour-long first video of any game is a good idea, to be quite honest with you. But here we are, a little bit late, a little bit late to be worried about that. An hour into this first video on Town to City in 4 months. It's, you know, if anything, it's a sign that I'm excited about the game. That's how I'm going to choose to look at it. I think that looks great. I don't think this guy needs a fence. I think this guy getting a fence is good. I think we could do a little tree in there. Maybe a little cypress tree just like this so it's not blocking that window too much. I think on this side we go for something slightly different. Maybe even a medium tree. Can we get a medium tree in there? We totally can. It's a little cramped, but I'm okay with it. Oh, I love this. I love how this looks. I'm really, really pleased with this. I think over on this side, these guys, they don't have a back door on the place. So let's do I want to do a wall? Do I want to do a tall fence? I think I'm going to do a wall here is what I'm going to do. Because I feel like they would want a wall. I feel like this can be almost part of this house's yard back here. So this can kind of come down. This can come down to about here should be fine. And then down to about there. So they kind of have like a little yard next to their house. No, I don't like that actually. I think we're going to go with the tall fence. I think the tall fence is going to be much better. Yes, people are going to see into it, but I think from like an aesthetic point of view, the tall fence just kind of looks better. We'll bring it down to here. We'll kind of bring it to here, and then to about here. And it still looks like a prison yard, but that's okay. We can make it work is what we can do. Let's give them a nice bench. I think right about here. Let's give them a nice big tree to sit underneath. I think that seems fair. We'll do a nice big tree right about there. Oh, I love that. I really do. I really, really love that. And then let's see, what else do I want to do? I'm really not too sure. I think another little tree is a good shout. And then some flowers. I think we give them some little flowers just at the back here to kind of bring it all together, give them a little bit of color in the space. I think that's quite nice. Maybe some just sort of coming down this way as well to kind of bring it all together as well. I think that looks all right. Let's give them some ground. Let's give them some detail. Autumn leaves, maybe no. Soft dirt. I like the idea of the soft dirt. I think the dirt's the way to go. But a very small brush for this, because we want to kind of come through. We want to just have some dirt underneath the bench, maybe some dirt underneath the tree, a little bit of dirt underneath this tree, and I'm gonna say some dirt underneath these guys as well. So it's like a flower bed. I love that. I really, really do. I'm actually gonna swap this out for the dark grass though, so it kind of looks. It's implied that people walk across there. I think that looks great. I'm so pleased with that. I really am. Let's do a little light. Just, let's actually do a pair of lights. We'll do one here. We'll do one there. I don't think they're level. They are. Good. That's nice. We'll do a light maybe in the middle of that door. We'll do a light above this door and that door. They're a little bit further apart than the other ones, so I think that's fine. In fact, we don't need a light above the middle of that door. We need a light on either side of it, and then we can get rid of that because there's a light in the middle of the street. So we don't need that. And there we go. I love this. I absolutely love this. We have a tall fence down here at the bottom so that we kind of have some separation between this road and where the train's going to be. We've obviously got some nice big trees, some medium trees in the middle, but some big trees on either side. I just love this. Let's open up the train station. Let's bring some people in here. 98% happiness is kind of amazing. This little street is covered by the stalls, which is also kind of amazing. This turned out so much better than I thought it would. It really, really did. I am so pleased with this. I'm so excited to see some people arrive. We do have a family with traits. This will influence their happiness. So these guys want a house that's surrounded by flower decorations. Well, fortunately for them, do I have a house for them? It's going to be right here. We're going to put these guys just next door, and that'll keep them nice and happy. They've got the flowers. They've got everything they could want. There's so many flowers in here. I love it. I really do. I'm so excited to see people going up and down there. I think it's going to look amazing. I'm slightly tempted to do one last little thing, which is, we got more people arriving? Oh my God, we do. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me get a slightly larger brush. Just give me the one brush. And I want to do this. I think I want to do that. Just right in the middle there. And I think what we're going to do, for one, I could put another well in there, but I think we're right next to this one, so there's no point. I think there's different types of wells. There's different colored rooftops on them. I didn't know that. I also realize if I can be sneaky, I could put an archway over here, which, does that look okay if I just do that? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I want to do a tree is what I want to do. I want to go for this guy, just right about there, just right in the middle of that space. I think it looks amazing. We have two families here. We only have 3 houses left, so let's turn this off because we want to be careful. You guys want to go anywhere? You can live there. You guys want to be near a cliff. I mean, this is +0, so that should keep them relatively neutral, which is good. That's better than them not having any cliff nearby, I suppose. That's something. Let's also just randomize some flowers as one last little thing just through this space, just to sort of cover that little teeny tiny bit of grass. We also have someone going in. It's a kid going in and sitting on the bench. Oh my God. I love that. Oh, I love that so much. Can I put a light in a tree? No, that's okay. That's fine. That's maybe asking a little bit too much. Anyway, I think that's going to do us for today. I think we've built the makings of what's going to become a beautiful, adorable little town here. I hope you agree. I hope you've had a good time. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's been a little bit of another long video, which, you know what? I joked in the comments of another video recently that I don't remember how to make short videos, and the more I do this, the more that's becoming true. I know the internet and the world is moving towards short form content, and I've had so many people telling me over the years, man, you need to make YouTube shorts. You need to make YouTube shorts. You got to promote your videos with YouTube shorts. I don't know how I condense an hour and 10-minute video or whatever this is into a YouTube short. I don't know if there's anything in here that lends itself to short form content. I think there's enough short form content out there. I think for me, I love the idea. Something I try to do is make videos that I would watch. I'm trying to outro this video and we're getting into like a whole thing about the behind the scenes of the channel. It's a bit weird, but I like to think that I try to make videos that I would watch. And a lot of what I like to watch on YouTube is longer form content. I like, watching people play City Skylines. And I don't like it when it's like a 20-minute video that's like, oh my guys, we're blowing everything up. Everything's on fire. Woo! And it's all like, built for clips and short form stuff. I like those like hour-long videos from people that are, here's how we're building this thing. Here's the ins and outs of why we're building this thing. Here's the story of this city. Here's me getting lost for 30 minutes, designing a single street in this city or town in my case. I like that stuff. So I don't think I know how to make short videos anymore. And I think that's okay. I don't think the YouTube algorithm agrees with that, but I'm beyond the point of caring about the algorithm. I'm just doing what's fun for me, and I hope it's fun for you as well. Anyway, that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.